You're watching ONFIRE-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course. The Diamond K Show, ONFIRE-TV.com, ONFIRE-TV.com. Make sure you check us out, streaming 24/7, 24 hours a day now. So clean water. How important is clean water to you and your family? Very important. Of course, here in Baltimore, there's been all of this talk about Baltimore treating wastewater from the Ohio train derailment. Who thought of this brilliant idea? Greed. That's what it is. Greed. So in a change of events, it looks like the contaminated water from the recent Ohio train derailment will not be treated through the Baltimore Clean Harbors plant. And I was going to say this today, but this news broke. If the Baltimore County Executive and the mayor of Baltimore City allowed this to happen, they did not deserve to be reelected. This is a serious thing. Charles Hart, the general manager of Clean Harbors, told 11 News WBAL this morning that the company will not take water from the Ohio train derailment site without approval from officials. And it appears that he does not have that approval. I mean, who would want this water here? I mean, it makes literally no sense. Literally no sense. Multiple Baltimore City and Baltimore County officials have expressed their thoughts on the possible treatment in Maryland's system. It is absolutely categorically a potential environmental hazard. It is crazy that they were even considering bringing contaminated water to be cleaned here in Baltimore and then distributed amongst our water systems. Are you kidding me? So when people talk about the seriousness of things, when people talk about not voting, when people talk about not being involved in the process, it is things like this that we have got to pay attention to. Things like this that can affect our health and safety. So the Baltimore County Executive John says that Baltimore County waterways a top priority. And he talked about supporting efforts to prevent the discharge of treated materials into our shared sewer system, and are encouraged that Clean Harbors has announced plans to identify alternative solutions to process this wastewater. So that is something that is important. He continues, our thoughts remain with the people of East Palestine, Ohio, who continue to feel the impacts of this incredible tragedy. We believe that this and other recent incidents at the Back River wastewater treatment plant reinforce the importance of our ongoing efforts to modernize Baltimore's region, the water and the wastewater utilities. So what is he talking about? He's talking about the problems. They wanted to bring this potential environmental hazard. They wanted to bring it to a plant here in Baltimore that has had nothing but problems, that is not equipped to handle just our regular duties. And then they want to bring this water, this contaminated mess here to Baltimore City, Baltimore County. So in agreement, the mayor of Baltimore City, Brandon Scott, said, Last Friday, I publicly expressed grave concerns with environmental and industrial, just the contracting, the Clean Harbors request to dispose of pre-treated wastewater from Norfolk Southern Railroad's derailment into the Baltimore City wastewater collection system. Need I say that it's already a mess? After legal review, the mayor continues, the city's law department has determined that the Department of Public Works has the authority to modify discharge permits in an effort to safeguard publicly owned treatment works, POTW, from interference, pass-through, or contamination of treatment byproducts. Lastly, he says, as such, I have directed DPW to modify Clean Harbors discharge permit to deny the request to discharge processed wastewater from the cleanup of the Norfolk Southern Railroad derailment into the city's wastewater system after processing at a Clean Harbors facility. Clean Harbors has facilities across the country that may be better positioned to dispose of the treated wastewater, and we urge them to explore those alternatives. I just hope that the powers that be make sure that some mix-up doesn't happen. Some kind of loophole is not done, and they have, as the Mayor Brandon Scott said, they have facilities across the country. So I don't want them to make some mistake and bring this contaminated water here or treat it somewhere else at one of their other locations, clean it, and then bring it back through here. We don't want that crap. We don't need that crap. As the mayor and the Baltimore County executive said, our thoughts and prayers are definitely, with the people of Ohio. But, it is just the bringing that stuff here is not a good thing. Water being cleaned through a Baltimore plant for a variety of reasons, it is not a good idea. It is not a good idea. And we must make sure that this does not happen. Wastewater collected from the Ohio derailment site. They wanted to bring that here to Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Yeah, it is unheard of that quote unquote Clean Harbors. They wanted to bring an initial known quantity currently loaded in rail cars. They wanted to bring 675,000 gallons of this contaminated water here. And this is just a month after that terrible train derailment at the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. So we definitely have to keep our eyes on this. We definitely have to make sure that the people that we have elected to look out for the safety and the well-being of the constituents, the safety and well-being of the residents, do just that. Listen to the Diamond K Show, of course, on ONFIRE-TV.com. Take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.
You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Welcome back. You and Diamond K in here. Of course, the Diamond K Show on OnFire-TV.com, Radio On Fire.com, on all social media. I am at The Diamond K Show. And as I said, ONFIRE-TV.com, streaming 24 hours a day. Our streaming channel, very excited about it. So you can check it out right now and anytime, 24/7, ONFIRE-TV.com, ONFIRE-TV.com. So many of you may know who this guy is. Maryland Court of Appeals has reinstated Adnan Syed's murder conviction. The 3-panel judge, the Maryland Court of Appeals, reinstated this. Now, they said the Circuit Court of Baltimore City, they need a do-over in the hearing on whether Syed should be released. Of course, he was accused of killing Hae Min Lee back in 1999. This was the subject of the popular podcast Serial. His first trial ended in a mistrial. The jury convicted him in a second trial, and he had been in jail since February of 1999. The ruling on a challenge filed by Lee's brother claimed that he had not been notified promptly of the fall hearing. It was September 2022 to be exact. The hearing on Syed's release, he was allowed to testify virtually, but the judges ruled that that was not sufficient. According to the opinion, state law provides victims with the right to prior notice on a motion to vacate and the right to attend the hearing. So Baltimore City's state's attorney's office released a statement following this news. It says that the posture of the case currently is that the appellate court of Maryland has reinstated Mr. Syed's conviction and sentence. This office is currently conducting a review of the decision. We must allow the appeal process to play itself out. Mr. Syed and his legal team may file for an appeal to the Maryland Supreme Court, and we must respect their rights to do so. Until those rights are either heard or that request is denied, we are in a holding pattern. Any further comment would be premature at this time. The judge's decision does not take effect immediately. It will take up to 60 days for the parties to decide on their next step. So many people thought that this case was over. Many people thought that this was the end, but, you know, the family is upset. The family has a right and has rights under the law that they are trying to make sure are heeded. It's just a sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. I will be back here tomorrow. More of the show. Need to get in touch with me, djdiamondk@gmail.com, or hit us up, ONFIRE-TV.com. See you guys tomorrow.